Okay, so in my hands I have the iPhone 5 and the iPhone 5S. And really we want to get to the bottom of what's different between these two devices. But first let's take a look at what hasn't changed. On the top of the device, the power on-off standby button is in the exact same location on both phones. Left of the display we have the volume up and down as well as the ringer, vibrate, silent switch. And again, they're both in the same exact location. And the bottom of the devices are identical as well, right down to the microphone and speaker configuration, 3.5mm headset jack, and a lightning port for charging and data transfer. To the right of the screen, that side remains relatively clean other than one port, and that is the tray for the nano SIM card. One other area where the phones do not differ is in the display. Both feature a 4-inch Retina display. It's the same exact Retina display on both models. The 5S does not get any upgrades in that area. It still remains 326 pixels per inch. So there's two main areas where the phones are different. Here's the home button on the iPhone 5. You'll notice the familiar home button logo. Here's the home button on the iPhone 5S. No more logo. It's got a glossier, kind of more dimensional look, and that's because embedded in this home button is the Touch ID fingerprint sensor. Here's the camera and flash arrangement on the iPhone 5. You'll notice just a single LED flash. This is an 8-megapixel camera, and there's also a little microphone embedded between the two. Here's the camera arrangement on the iPhone 5S. It features again an 8-megapixel camera, but you'll notice a dual LED True Tone flash, and this is designed to smartly illuminate pictures to get a better color temperature and more realistic, true-to-life pictures using flash. You also notice a really minor difference. The shape of the microphone between the two is a little bit different. It's a circle, whereas it was more of an oval on the iPhone 5. The 8-megapixel camera isn't exactly the same. It uses bigger pixels. It's a bigger sensor. Should be better in low light conditions, but we'll get more to that later. A major difference you wouldn't know by just looking at the phones is the change in processor. The iPhone 5 features Apple's A6 processor. This is the same A6 processor that you're going to find in the newly released iPhone 5C, whereas the iPhone 5S uses a next generation Apple A7 processor. It's 64-bit processing. The older iPhone models are 32-bit, so this is brand new. This is a total upgrade in many ways. It also gets a co-processing from what Apple is calling their M7 processor. So the speed differences should be really noticeable. In most cases, they're claiming that this is going to be up to twice as fast as the iPhone 5. So that's a quick look at how the iPhone 5 and the iPhone 5S differ at first glance. Of course, there's going to be many more differences when it comes to using the devices, but we're going to get more in depth with that later in a later video that's going to really dive into how the two phones compare and maybe help you decide whether or not you should upgrade. But for now, you should be able to spot the difference on the street. iPhone 5S, iPhone 5. I'm Kevin with iSource.com. Thanks for watching.